I'm Ryan.
Is that the new intro? Full time?
I haven't put the old one back on.
Oh, I'm in the middle. I just didn't know if it was full-time upgrade.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mountain Dews, baby.
Braxton missed it.
And my name's Jim,
Hmm.
but most people call me
Slim Jim.
Jim.
Good Lord. Oh my gosh. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the question at hand. Hope everyone is doing absolutely phenomenal. Tonight we have a little show and tell. So if you're listening to this podcast, we will try to describe things as best we can. But it is a visual podcast. So if you have not found it yet, we are on YouTube. The question at hand is just the channel name. I'll link it in the description of the show notes of this as well. Go check us out. Hit that subscribe button. Those numbers we need to see climbing. I will say I haven't actually posted a video podcast in a while as of right now. I have several that still need to be posted. That I actually did video, but since we got the new recorder, like everything is so much smoother.
Oh, right.
Like it was literally taking like an extra 10 hours. So bad. Anyway, so tonight we have show and tell from our trip to Canton about a month ago, actually now. Actually a little over a month ago now, I think. But Christian and I went to First Monday in Canton, Texas, which is an interesting place, to say the least, because I'm pretty sure we did not go to the right place.
It's confusing because it's however big like people would think a flea market is, it's like 3 times bigger than that.
Well, I think what we did was we went to the old part.
Well, and there's different separate parts. There's a part called Dogtown, which I think for sure y'all went through.
We did, which is super sketchy. Like there's definitely some illegal stuff going on over there. Yeah, we went to Dogtown. We went through that area. We went through when we crossed the street from the pavilions and stuff.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure is still not the right spot. But it
It's
seemed
all part of it, but
more of the right spot. Like we thought we were in the right spot for a little bit. But we crossed the street and it was just like plants and a bunch of animals and junk. Like not even good junk. Like literally people were cleaning out their house and said, "Oh, I wonder if I could sell this at First Monday."
yeah.
But we spent most of the day, I would say, in the pavilion area. And we found some cool stuff, actually.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of show that to you because you didn't get to go with us. And Braxton has some tales, but he did not.
Because I go to
bring
Canton a
anything.
lot.
He does
actually,
go to Canton
but I did.
a lot.
Ironically, I
He
wasn't there
didn't-
this time.
He didn't come with us, and he didn't bring anything to show. So,
because I forgot. Okay.
party
I'm
foul, podcast foul.
Okay.
But no, I'm sure you've got some great stories from Canton. But I mean, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first for our first item?
You can go first for the
Okay.
first item.
I have this one sitting here, so I'm going to go ahead and show it. So we walked in. We didn't realize there were pavilions behind the pavilions, right? So we had like gone through most of the pavilions and stuff, and we are walking to like the end of this other one, and I think Autumn was like, "Hey, there's a whole nother row of pavilions back here," and we were like, "What?" And so we went back there and looked at the other pavilions, and this guy in this first pavilion that we walked in, because I had to leave to go to Dallas. Because did y'all look at some of the other pavilions as well?
Yeah.
Or just that one when I left?
I think we went through another one as well, but it wasn't good.
Okay. So this guy had a bunch of random stuff, a lot of comics. He had a lot of old like movies and things. So you actually
That's
probably
the good stuff.
would
That's my
have
kind of
have enjoyed that one a lot. But he had some comics, and I've never really been into comics. I'm not really a comic guy, I guess. I know a lot of people do collect comics, and so he had them like all wrapped up where it looked like he was taking good care of them anyway. Who knows if he actually was taking good care of them, but it appeared that he was, which I appreciated. So I did find this comic that I thought was pretty cool, and honestly, it looks like someone wrote on top of it now that I'm looking at it. But it is a Superman comic, 20 cents. back in the day. It's Superman comic number 264, which was a June edition. And I don't remember which
Was it
year.
60s?
I don't remember which year it was from. I can look that up while
20
when
cents
I pass
might
it
be
around.
60s.
But it's number
I used to know.
264. So still relatively early in terms of Superman comics, I think. But I thought it was cool because on the cover of it, it's The Secret of the Phantom Quarterback. And I looked it up, and they did redo this at one point, but this is the original cover.
Okay, this is a cool
It's
cover.
pretty
I haven't
cool,
looked at
man.
It closely until
I haven't
right
actually
now.
like opened it and read it or anything, but I thought it was pretty sweet. So I
Pretty
thought,
cool for a game room.
yeah, to like
showpiece.
hang up or something and have.
It's
what people
also
ask
funny.
about it.
It looks funny, but it also looks cool. The way that he's a ghost is neat.
Is it 264? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You've
here.
opened it, right? Or
No,
not?
I have not opened.
Do you want me to open it, or do you not want me to?
It doesn't matter. I would prefer kind of not to, probably. But
Okay.
I was just gonna leave it like that until I got ready to frame it. So Superman Volume 1, number 264, The Phantom Quarterback, is from June of 1973,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool. But I thought it was neat. I thought the ghost quarterback, because
He looks
I
cool.
played football, so it's right up my alley. And I was like, because
You
they
also
were
love ghosts.
this guy had literally like every vein of comic you could think of.
Yeah.
So there was Superman, Batman, Thor, Spider-Man, like you name it, this dude probably had it. And honestly, there were a lot of them that I thought were really, really cool.
Yeah.
But this one kind of stood out.
Oh,
with
for
it being
sure.
Football
It's just
and stuff.
interesting.
I thought it was neat.
Cool subject matter.
Yeah, I thought it, and like, I'm not a collector. Like he was like, oh, you could always have it graded or something. I'm like,
It doesn't
I just
matter.
want to hang it up.
Yeah. As long as the art's not messed up on the front, like that's good enough.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. We'll get it out and look at it at some point, but I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Superman,
I like
the
it.
Phantom Quarterback.
Cool.
Secret of the Phantom Quarterback.
Anything that's named Secret of, Legend of, automatically makes it better.
Oh, yeah.
If it was just the Phantom Quarterback, okay. But he's got a secret?
I'm also very confused by the back.
Oh, yeah. Let me.
It says the hit that ended the ball game, score in sports, but it looks like this dude is doing drugs, like he's shooting up something. Or maybe he's doing steroids. It looks like a hand with a syringe in it.
I think it's an anti-drug campaign ad.
And then
it's
it's
Husky's-
sponsored by shoes.
Yeah, it was the 70s.
I think it
Yeah.
actually may be anti-drugs.
I don't know.
Sponsored by Husky's sports shoes.
Yeah.
Showing an overdose and it's saying get high off of sports instead.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty sweet though. I love the art style on these comics too.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that was a big draw to comics in general back in the day.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you wanted to grab it off the shelf.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm super pumped about this one.
All right.
My turn. How
Yeah.
many more items do you have?
I have 3.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. We got 3.
I will show this first one. I believe this is the first
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things I purchased.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, maybe not.
I think I got
But
something
that
before.
one was like the coolest, I thought.
Now, the funny thing is that I also have this.
Oh, do you really?
Yes.
We
And I
were
think I bought it.
we
at,
were
no, I
looking
didn't get
at
the
it.
can, but I got it at an estate sale.
we were looking at it. So there's like a music store over there with the old stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty
He
cool.
said,
Maybe
I don't
the
know if
same
I've-
place. I don't know for
Okay.
sure, but
Well,
we
he-
also found this sign that just says "the," and we thought it would be the funniest thing to buy it and hang it up behind us.
the
The question at hand, but it's just "the," and everyone would be like, "When are you going to finish the sign?"
I don't know.
I told him that we went to this music store and he didn't know if it was the same one. And I said,
I'm s-
well, did the guy working there look like the guy who was the manager of Alvin and the Chipmunks?
And I said, actually, yeah, I think so. It may be the same
I
person.
think-
I really don't know.
I think that is very accurate, actually. Good grief!
David Cross and Alvin of the
Oh my
Chipmunks.
gosh! Of all the things,
Well, I got this record. the original motion picture soundtrack for 007 movie,
Yep.
Thunderball. I have never seen this movie, nor do I care anything about 007 movies.
Right.
But I saw this really cool, like,
The art style is
vintage
diving
art
artwork,
style
yeah.
underwater.
the art style is so much cooler than the movie itself. Because I've seen it.
Anything with vintage dive gear on it,
Just
I
looks-
want.
This reminded me a lot of that poster Gary has.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same energy for sure.
Also, that's crazy.
That's insane. Oh yeah, and also he has a jetpack in the movie.
It-
He uses a
okay,
jetpack in the movie.
what is crazy? I want to explain this for the listeners.
The fact he's wearing, like,
There's a guy on the back who is James Bond,
Yes.
007, and he's holding like a harpoon gun, but he has on like no pants.
yeah,
He has
like,
on super
then-
short swimming trunks.
And
that they
then
wore in
there
the
are
60s.
scantily clad women like on the ground behind him.
yeah.
But he's wearing a suit jacket and a tie on top,
Yeah.
swimming trunks underneath, and flippers. This is what I do to look sexy.
Yeah, that's cool. If you want to look at this, if you're listening on audio, this is the 007 Thunderball record. The artwork has a guy who I would guess is 007 James Bond with like a harpoon gun who's fighting another man in scuba gear underwater. Notice that he has on no mask.
No.
Well, he
You
has
gotta
to
see
be
his beautiful face.
identifiable.
You have to be able to like recognize him, yeah. But that's interesting. And then there are also a lot of other people that are also fighting, but pretty cool, man. That was when you pulled that out, I was like, bro, you have to get that. That thing is so sick.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be
The
cool.
song Thunderball, the main title, is kind of it's okay, but it's kind of weird. But the music of the movie is good because a lot of the movie takes place underwater,
Oh,
like
yeah.
too much of it. But the soundtrack while they're underwater is cool because it's all, sort of sort of mystery type stuff, but it's with an underwater type
Yeah.
tone.
Like typical kind of James Bond
Yeah.
stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it would be so cool on a display wall if I've
It
got
looks cool.
Heck yeah.
a display of vintage dive gear and anything of the sort. It's a cool
Yeah,
piece.
dude.
It's good condition,
It's pretty sweet.
attractive looking.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Album
sweet.
covers
color.
can be really cool. If they do cool job with the art and the style of it,
Oh yeah.
it's better than a poster.
I'll
you
get
know?
my other
For
sign out
sure.
of the way.
Oh, you want to go ahead and get your sign out of the way?
I bought this. It's a 10 sign
Mhm.
from Eastern Airlines.
It just says Miami
Says
Beach,
Miami Beach,
Florida.
Florida,
It's
in
got
an old
really
style.
cool artwork on
Just
it too.
10 hours from New York. What?
I liked the colors on it. It was really cheap. And I was like, why not get it?
Well, the travel style posters are always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
I love like the where you can tell like someone painted the trees, like
Mm.
the leaves and stuff on them. Like they're very obviously a brush of some kind in the original artwork. I mean, these were
Right.
probably mass printed, but the original artwork you can tell someone like actually painted, which is pretty sweet. Especially like the way that they blended the palm trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
And I've seen ones like that for like Star Wars or other like fantasy series where
Oh, really?
it's like visit
Yeah.
Tatooine, but it's exactly like
Okay,
this.
you need one of those.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are sweet.
I liked it.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
nice.
That thing's sick.
Good. I made you, Bruce. Good.
I made your bros.
All
I
right.
know everything about you.
So next up is pretty sweet.
I
in
can
fact,
tell it's good because it's got a poop stain on
in
it.
fact,
That's how you know it's good.
I'm pretty sure that's just mud.
Well, I'm joking, but if it has a smudge on it, you're like, oh, this came from somewhere.
Yeah. So I actually looked at this a couple times, and then I finally just decided to go ahead and buy it.
Yeah.
But I haven't even looked through it. It's been sitting in my truck since then. In fact, I just pulled it out of my truck. But it is a entire like collector deck
Mhm.
of old football cards.
That's cool.
So it's pretty sweet. Like on this side, Alex Green hot rookies. Played for the Packers. I don't know who half these guys are. Where was that card we looked at? Literally on. Oh yeah, there's a Peyton Manning card, which is pretty
That's
sweet. Alfonso Smith, corner for the Lions. So I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool to look through. I hadn't even got to look through it yet. I thought you said you were gonna look through it on the way back, and then I guess we forgot about it. But Anquan Bolden. So it's got some like pretty cool names. There was a Cam Newton card in here somewhere that we found. Which I don't even think he's not even playing right now. And it was pretty recent too, I think.
Well, that what you
But I
said
thought it was
reminds me
pretty
of
cool.
something funny though. Of that's the hardest thing for me too. Is like, and it's not even. It sometimes it doesn't have to do with even how expensive something is, but of seeing something, you know, oh, that's cool, and then but it's hard sometimes to decide to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you kind of wrestle with that of like, should I get it? And most of the time with me, it comes down to, do I feel like I will ever see something like this again statistically? You know what I mean?
Well,
And if the answer
yeah.
leads towards like, no way, I would never see this again, then it's kind of like, oh, I feel like I got to get it. You know
well,
what I mean?
and one of the things is the card market is so hot right now. It's like, even if I get this and I don't want any of them, I could probably resell it for more money.
How much you pay for them?
I think like $10.
Yeah. That's an
So,
easy get.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not a big card collector or anything. I used to have a lot of Pokemon cards. They're still in there somewhere. I probably need to look through them actually, because they actually might be worth some money. I have a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards still.
This one needs to be saved.
So, do what?
This one needs to be saved.
What is that?
Team card. I think a lot of these.
Oh, sick, with Brady on it. Patriots. That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. So we can look through them some other time. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Well, and again,
And you never know. There may be some hidden gems in here somewhere.
exactly. That's
So-
what, even if there's not, that's what the fun possibility is, right?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times what
Oh,
I'll.
they have a Jason Witten card.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
It's rarely about who it is. It's usually about the rarity of
Yeah.
the card, the condition,
Mm.
and a few different
If
factors.
it has a stain.
yeah,
Fun
which I
box.
mean, most of these are like
Sometimes,
in
especially
okay condition.
yeah, with old baseball
Nothing special
cards,
about 'em.
the really valuable ones are the error cards,
Yes.
where the company messes up,
Like
and
money or
it accidentally
coins.
goes out into circulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've recently started going through a lot of my old ones, and
How many do you have? How many things did you bring?
I have. Oh, how many things total?
Yeah.
I've got 3 more.
You got 3 more? Okay. I've got 2 more.
Okay, I'll get 2 books out of the way.
Okay. I don't know. We'll definitely look through these and kind of
Yeah, and
see
they're
what we
often,
want to do with them.
if you have a bunch, they're often best sold in a lot.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're not, like, they're not graded.
Yeah,
So,
unless it's something actually valuable. Even if there's $10 to $20 of value on a single card, not a lot of people are going to look for a specific $20 card. This is one of the cool items I found in one of those pavilions. I love old books. This is The Outline of History by H.G. Wells, Volume 1.
we did
Is it
look that up to
nonfiction,
see
or
if
is
it
it-
was, if it had
No.
any value. And, like, there were copies of it reselling for, like, $400.
Don't
Yeah.
show that.
What is it?
Swastika.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
YouTube will block it out.
So some copies of this actually do sell for $400 because H.G. Wells is a very notable writer. But this is actually nonfiction, Rise and Spread of Buddhism. But
It's
it
weird. I
basically,
didn't know he wrote.
at the time in the 40s, they started compiling these thinkers at the time that started compiling the history of the world. And so it's really interesting to compare what they thought back then,
looking back
what's
from
rem-
their time.
yeah, what's
backwards.
remained like evergreen. Because a lot of our modern history and a lot of our modern science is based off of the groundwork that was laid in that era.
Yeah, that's true.
And so there's a lot of trust in what a lot of the early
What-
1900s
what
thinkers' thoughts were.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if they were wrong about something, you mislead people for decades because
Yeah.
then
Right,
all
or
academics are
it's
going
all,
to follow
or
what's
it's all
out
sort
there.
of
Yeah.
bottlenecked around one
Mhm.
theory or view kind of thing. That's cool.
But it's really interesting. I think this is one of the later reprints of it.
Yeah, it
said
the.
Yeah, it's still like a.
It's pretty cool,
you
man.
can, if you sold this online, you would get more than what I paid for it.
Which was like $2.
$2.
Yeah, you just found it in the giant box of books.
I think I will hold on to it because.
Oh,
looks very
frick! I just
interesting to
remembered
go
one of
into.
the books that you got when we went.
The other one?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
That one was crazy that we found that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that one second to last.
Okay.
Well, before the one you show. Then I found this at the Canton Goodwill, and I found probably like
Didn't you find like a whole set of
I found a
those?
whole set of these, and it was a pretty good portion of the set. It was like half of the ones that you can buy. But this is the Old West series. It is like the coolest.
I think there's like 136 books total in the series. Not really. That's an exaggeration, but maybe not.
There's a lot. This one is about the Great Chiefs, but there's one that's like the gunslingers, the
Right. Tons of different stuff.
railroad,
Miners, railroad.
the women of the West, the Texans. And each one is like this really cool, really well sourced.
It's the type of book that I would love to look at when I was like 12 years old.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad was
Those are
like-
really cool, and the artwork and stuff on like the leather bound cover.
It
and
makes you
everything
want
is
to
really,
read it.
Is really
it's
cool.
very nice. I knew I had to get them because they were selling each of them for $1.
Mm-hmm.
So I came out with a bunch for less than $10. And
Sweet.
my dad, when I brought the set home, he read like all of them. In
No
a few
way.
hours. And he was like, "These are so good. I'm obsessed."
That's amazing.
But the way that they tell the stories of the old gunfights
Mm-hmm.
and the outlaws,
Sweet.
um,
That's
I'm-
cool. Is there a part in there that you would like to read, like a little excerpt? Give a little taste.
something.
Oh, that's a cool picture.
Yeah,
that like
it's like a-
hand drawn one.
Doesn't say who drew it.
I mean, it looks like
Wait. The peyote ceremony.
Yeah, the-
okay.
the
That's
peyote
what we need to
ceremony.
read. So
A release from misery.
I actually listened to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he had like a psychedelics expert on, and they had like a long, in-depth conversation about peyote, and it was like mind-blowing. I
All
had
I
no
know
idea.
is that in GTA 5 it turns you into an animal.
Oh, really? Dude, maybe that's the skinwalker thing is Native
No, I don't know
Americans
if
take
that's-
peyote and turn into animals.
I mean, this is just cool to read. Like, this is a sacred buffalo skull that was owned by Sitting Bull, obtained by a missionary after he died. Part of the Sundance ritual. May have used it.
Wait, are you not going to read the peyote ceremony? I was actually really
No,
interested in what it said.
Where was it back here?
Somewhere in there, I think. That guy looks like a monkey. Page turning ASMR. I don't know, where was that peyote ceremony?
Way back here. This photo says, at the ritual breakfast concluding in 1892 peyote meeting, food containers are formally aligned in front of the crescent-shaped peyote altar. Worldly wise in business and politics, Quanah Parker also exercised a leadership role in less mundane matters. He was a proponent of the ceremonial use of peyote, a hallucinogenic drug that offered solace to Comanches as reservation life eroded their tribal values. Largely because
Largely because what? You what?
Largely because of what?
Because he just really liked it.
They should do that more in movies. Just as like in comedies, you like are reading something and then it just cuts to something else, and they're like, "What?
What'd you put in my peyote?"
That drum is pretty cool too. That's actually pretty sweet. What
I
is
didn't even
it?
know what this means. What is it? That's what I was trying to figure out. Largely because it's proselytizing. I have no clue what that means. That's like a word they used. when they wrote this.
Proselytizing is like a fancy word for like mulling something over or like creating theories, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently,
He liked it.
peyote makes you do that. Peyote became part of
Apparently peyote makes you do
a native religion that became known as the Native American Church. They would eat the bitter tasting buttons or the above ground part of the peyote cactus, a spineless species about the size of a radish found in northern Mexico. The buttons produced auditory hallucinations.
Auditory. So that means you only hear them?
Colors and a deep sense of brotherhood among those participating. Like there's just a bunch of small stories about just life in the West.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, look at all these
Hides,
Hides.
buffalo hides. Yep.
this is worth $120,000.
You can't hide that.
I'm
so sorry.
It's worth today. There's a book, the Old West series.
Cool, man. That thing, when you brought those and I was looking at the covers of them and stuff, I don't think I actually looked through them much, but
Okay.
I was like, dude, these are freaking sweet. Like,
Yeah.
you found a gold mine. I feel like Christian found a lot of really cool stuff whenever
Yeah.
we were there.
I did.
So this next one, I actually did not purchase myself.
This isn't the big one. No. Okay, good.
Did not purchase yourself. Was I aware of this?
I think so. So Autumn bought a bunch of books.
Oh yeah.
And one of them that I was like, oh, you should get that one. It's really cool. She was like, I don't want these. Like, do you want any of them? And I was like, actually, I would really like that one. So it is called Rainbows, Curveballs, and Other Wonders of the Natural World Explained by Ira Flatow. And I thought it was just intriguing because of the cover of the book, which is a bright blue color. The text is kind of interesting. And there's a rainbow and this guy, which I would assume is probably Ira Flatow, that is resting on an apple. And I just thought it was intriguing. And it I'm pretty sure I looked through it a little bit, and it explains a lot, or it attempts to anyway, explain a lot of like things. You're like, I wonder how that works.
It's that,
just
yeah,
like
that.
random strange things. So like the back of it actually says, some of the wonders of the universe Ira Flatow explores in Rainbows, Curveballs. Why do they put those little dimples on golf balls? Does a curveball really curve? Why is sailing a boat like squeezing a watermelon seed? Which I've never heard, but interesting. How much electricity does one lightning bolt provide? How does soap clean? How do chandeliers and plaster cherubs, busts, and leafwork affect the quality of a symphony in a concert hall? Can you really hear a scratch on a compact disc? That might be intriguing. How do hurricane and seltzer get their names? What color is air? Which is intriguing. If you fell into a black hole, could you ever get out? What color is a black box? It's in quotes.
Right, a literal black box.
And do airplane wings flap?
Yes, they do. I think the answer is they flap in a very minuscule.
I just thought it was intriguing.
No,
there was no like particular reason. I thought it looked cool, and I was like, that'd be kind of fun to like put up on a shelf and have people ask you like, what's that about?
Yeah. It's like an Uncle John's bathroom reader that's acceptable to read in public.
It's
yeah. Did you want to look at it? I took it away from you to read the back. So,
Read the first fact you find.
I stick it behind the toilet at my house. That way when people come over and just randomly like pick it up and read a chapter. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. We did find a couple really cool books at the trade days.
This is just a funny visual.
Oh yeah, I think there are some that I. Oh yeah, there are some I didn't bring. There's like 3 books I didn't bring.
Yeah, I think there were several. Yeah, Christian actually like hit a gold mine on a couple.
I
things.
completely forgot we went to the other side. I only brought the books we bought from the pavilion.
Oh, did you get a couple from the other side?
The Mexican pyramid one,
Oh yeah.
and then the one about Atlantis and ancient Egypt.
Very cool.
It was like the unexplained or something, right?
It was
Something
called.
Was it one of those that you always used to see in the library?
What?
There would always be like books in the library about ancient Egypt. And I can remember what the cover looks like, but I don't remember like what the series was.
Probably no, it wasn't one of those.
Okay.
I made a sphinx out of sugar cubes in GT.
Yeah, I made a pyramid.
It's pretty sweet.
3 sides or 4 sides?
4.
Oh
5.
my gosh. Have you seen like the overhead images of the one in Antarctica?
I think
like,
I have.
I think it said it was like 20 kilometers by 20 kilometers, which is nuts. But apparently like with the like snow and ice melting, it like uncovered it.
But I think it's one of those things I read that's like an illusion. Like it's not really there.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
If it's real, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, do you want me to go next, or do you want to?
Do you have the final item next?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
the big one.
So I got this book. I found this for $2.
This is literally, but no. This is not. Oh, I found this and I got it for $2. This was literally the first shelf we looked on in the first place we walked into.
That's a good sign.
It is a novel about the Battle of New Orleans.
Have you read it yet?
No. But I need to. It was published in 1957, and it is in like immaculate quality
It is in really good shape. Yeah.
for $2. And I'm very proud of it. Very cool display piece.
Cool
Like,
cover
the
art.
color is awesome.
Yeah, and it's called "We Were There" with Jean Lafitte at New Orleans.
There's just
And the size of the text and the style of it seems like it's for the audience that would be reading like the Hardy Boys and stuff.
Yeah.
it's very
Sort
much
of
that.
Tween reading,
It's
historical.
still cool though, dude. Like, how many books out there are about Jean Lafitte? Like, I'm sure that there's quite a few, but
5.
But yeah,
but it's pretty freaking sweet.
Out of
And
all
it
the
was
things to be
just
there.
nuts, man. Literally, the first shelf we looked at in the
Yeah.
first place, as soon as we walked in, that's what we found.
Yeah, we just pulled it out and couldn't believe it.
I was like,
there he was.
dude,
crazy.
no way. And then he was like, this is crazy. I was like, you have to get that. Like, when else are you ever going to see that again?
Yeah.
You would not see that again.
It's pretty sweet. Like, even if you just stick it on a shelf and have it as like a display book somewhere, that would be freaking
It's a
awesome.
series, right?
It was part. We were there at the Boston Tea Party. We were there with Bird at the South Pole.
What?
Dude, that's about
What is
high
the
jump.
chances?
That's
I wonder
All
if
right.
there's any.
Well,
that
I
are
found my
like,
Christmas present for Christian this year.
I wonder if there are any that are like extremely we were there at Custer's Last Stand. Wait, what? There have to be like a questionable one, right?
We were there on the Chisholm Trail.
It was
Okay.
called what? We were there with Bird in Antarctica.
At least it's the Chisholm Trail. We were there when Washington
At the
won at
South
Yorktown.
Pole.
We were there with Richard the Lionhearted in the Crusade.
Oh, is that real? No. We murdered infidels. We were there.
Wait, that Bird one is from 1929. What year was this one from?
Okay, then that would have been when Bird flew over, and he thought that Antarctica was 2 different continents because he described this huge rift in the middle. It's true. You can find it in news articles.
We were there at the Normandy invasion. This book is from the 50s. That's way too soon. The historical ones are okay, but that was 5 years ago. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We were there on the Oregon Trail. It's kind of the funniest one with the Oregon Trail video game now.
Dang it.
You know,
I'm going to find this.
we
one way
died
or
on the
another.
Oregon Trail.
We were there at Pearl Harbor.
No, we did it, but not on the side you think.
We were there at the Battle for Bataan.
That might be the most heinous one. That's probably the most violent, torturous.
We were there with Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys.
Ethan Allen. That's also a cool
That's
cover.
Dude, that book is so freaking sweet.
And I am not sure Braxton is ready for what we found next.
Do you want me to go over some of mine before we do that?
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay. Well, off the top of my head, I know, and I still haven't hung it up, but that Barks, It's Good
Mhm.
paper sign that still sits on my table.
Yeah,
I got that in Canton.
that's pretty sweet.
I'm trying to think if
That's
I got
good.
any other like display pieces. In Canton before, I found of the weird like CED discs, the big like plastic caddy things that I have up above my Blu-ray shelf that look like posters. The one where you have to put it in the machine and pull it back out.
Mm-hmm.
Because
They're called what?
they're called CED discs.
CED.
It stands for capacitance electronic disc,
Okay.
but it's a vinyl disc with goo on it
Okay.
that spins around.
They do
Anyway,
have some really cool
ew.
like artwork.
The
on
artwork
them.
is
yeah.
legit. That's why I really.
It
like
looks
them.
like a tiny movie poster.
Yeah.
Which is
and a lot of them
pretty
were
freaking
based
sweet.
around like a circle because they were trying to make people understand like, no, you can buy movies on a disc, you know,
Oh yeah.
which makes them look like no other version of the poster because it's like people
Yeah.
popping out of a circle. But my we have one at my grandma's house, and I have that one now in my living room.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, you showed me how it works. It's pretty freaking sweet.
at Canton one day, I found another player and a whole new like deal of disc, and that's where I got like the Terminator and one other one that's hanging up above my shelf because my grandma wouldn't have had the Terminator. You know what I mean?
What did we watch the other day?
Unfortunately, the second one didn't work, but I think it just needs a belt. That most of the time, that's what old electronics need is a belt.
What did we watch the other day?
You and me?
Was it Blazing Saddles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have that one in a CED?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw it back there and I was like, we should watch this on CED instead.
And then all it does is skip. That's all.
Oh, really?
That's all they do.
Dang it.
You wonder why it was a dead and failed technology.
Well, didn't you say like they barely even made it to market before it was like, yeah,
Well-
we're done with this.
Well, the irony was it started development back in like the late 50s, early 60s. And if they would have kept on schedule, they would have literally created the home video market.
Yeah.
But instead, they released after VHS, beta, and Laserdisc. They released the last. And it basically bankrupted RCA, which is like a giant conglomerate company.
Yeah. Dang, dude, that's
And,
insane.
But that's also why it's cool. But I found that there one day. That was fun. And I found a lot of movies and stuff there too. Nothing like super good, I guess, but a lot of the random like comedy.
You did find that
Blu-rays.
cool fan.
Oh yeah, I did. I found that fan. Which it's not even worth describing.
Yeah, it
But
is.
Okay, it's a little box fan, but instead of being a fan on a post that oscillates like this,
like side to
you
side.
turn a button and a thing on the front begins to turn at a very slow speed, and that like makes the air like oscillate around the room
Yeah.
and go different directions. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like
When I
it.
came over there, you were like,
Isn't that
dude,
fan cool?
this fan is so cool. I got this in Canton.
Yeah.
I was like, sick. That's so cool.
And a lot of my old like 8mm films that I have, I've gotten at Canton. Now I haven't looked at most of them.
Of like actual like 8mm films.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what all do you have?
A ton of stuff. A ton of kind of crazy stuff too. Like it'll be labeled and be like Florida Vacation, 1955.
Oh, so
What the
you just
heck?
have like a bunch of home movies and
Yeah.
stuff? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had like actual films.
No,
which
but
I
you
don't know
can-
why they'd be on 8mm.
Well,
but
they did, but what they would do, you could buy Star Wars on 8mm,
Mhm.
but it would be like a 30-minute long version of the movie. They would edit like the highlights together, and that's kind of all it was. Now, like 16mm, you can buy. I suppose back in the day, you could buy that, like a copy of a movie on 16mm, to like for a rich person to watch at their house. You know,
You're a rich girl. You're gone too far. What you doing don't matter
movies at
anyway.
Canton. But
And you know I got movies at Canton.
because I don't have a good projector or way to look at it yet.
Can't rely
But,
on the old man's money.
something cool I found though was I found 2 boxes from something interesting about Canton is there'll be people who show up there. There's people from locally who show up there, and there's also people who randomly show up there, like you said. There's people who always show up there. What?
I just forgot about something, but we went. So this is like in the middle of us trying to get bottle fountain drinks. That was kind of part of the mission when we went to Canton, was to go and bottle fountain drinks as well. So on the way to Canton, we stopped at Sam's, and we went in, and Christian and I got some pizza, and we
Of course.
fountain bottled the Mountain Dew at Sam's. And we're walking out across the parking lot, and this guy's, we hear this voice, and this guy's like, "I'm surprised you're not out hunting treasure." And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I like look at Christian, and I'm like, I think he was talking to you, dude. And so Christian goes over there, and he's like, "I'm surprised you're not out looking for treasure, man." And he's like, "You recognize me from the show?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I think he had been at something that we had been to,
Right, of
like
course.
some kind of treasure show or something, maybe.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
he like recognized
recognized
Christian
him.
and then talked to Christian in the parking lot for like 20 minutes.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, it was so random. That whole day was crazy.
It was a crazy day. Yep.
It was
Mountain
amazing.
Dews, people in the parking lot,
Yeah.
dogs,
Jean Lafitte books.
Jean Lafitte books. Yeah.
I mean, dude, just freaking nuts.
And then
And then we found this
item.
this last item, which I really, I hope we haven't overhyped it to you. At
You
this
probably
point,
have.
because
I don't think we have.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, this was like right before I was leaving. I went and got my comic, and then I also bought probably one of the craziest items I've ever seen in the wild. I don't know why this guy had this. I'm honestly surprised that we even found it. I'm surprised that I even saw it, because it was just amongst a lot of other random things. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about this before I pull it out? Because
Man, the
Excuse
guy,
me while I whip this out.
the guy told us, he's like, you can get this graded. We almost may have to get this
Is it
graded.
a tape?
It's
Okay,
a
just-
something. But the fact, like, you're never gonna. You brought up. Am I going to find
How
this again?
mad are
in
y'all
my
going to be
life?
if I go, oh yeah, I have that?
You do not have this. You do not have this.
if you have this, I will walk out.
You'll eat it.
I will delete this whole episode like we never recorded it.
No one. You're not going to see another one of these in your life.
Okay.
I really don't think you will.
Okay.
In this,
Then I'm excited.
in this mint condition.
So
Oh
I
my
see this
God.
sitting on the table, and I'm like, "Christian, come here," because he was looking at something else, and I'm like, "Do you see that?" And he was like,
Was it by
"Oh
itself or
my
was it
God."
among other?
It was among a lot of other things, and he's like, "Oh my God, we have to get that." And that's something, Braxton,
Just whip it out.
is Goofy la Película. You can take that one out if you want. I put that on there. He was like, you could get it graded, and then he wrapped it up in that plastic. And I'm like, I'm not grading this. I was like, I'm buying this because it's the biggest meme I've ever seen in my life. So what we
It's
found,
Mexico.
what
It's
we
a
found-
Mexican version.
It's a Mexican.
what we
version
found
of
is
the
the
movie.
Goofy movie from Mexico,
It's
and
the Mexican dub.
I don't know how to explain this. I believe we tried to in another podcast at one point, but at one point, the three of us made Goofy jokes, literally like,
for a year straight, and then have tapered off
Yeah.
slowly over the past 5.
and every now and then it gets brought back up, and we're like, no, not again. We're not doing that again. Yeah, dude, I don't know. This is probably the most insane thing I've ever. I think you just pulled. I just peel that off. Literally, probably. I said the only way that this could be better if it was an extremely goofy movie,
Yep.
but beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
And why are we so entranced by this? I don't know, but I am.
I'm telling you, dude. Have you ever seen one of those
Is
before?
this not
No.
the greatest item you've ever seen?
It's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Also, in parentheses at the bottom, they have the real,
A
the
goofy
translated
movie.
title. Goofy la película.
Yeah. Walt Disney Pictures presenta Goofy la película. Ahora puedes disfrutar de toda la alegría y comicidad de uno de los personajes. I can't hardly read it. It's all crooked.
Yeah. Con Goofy y Max, un hijo adolescente que se mete en problemas atolorosos.
But yeah, dude, sitting amongst a wide array, but not just like where you could see the spine of it, like in broad view amongst a lot of other things that were dark in color, sits Goofy la Película.
An advertisement for Beauty and the
La
Beast on
Bella y la
Broadway.
Bestia. El Musica de Broadway.
I'm wondering what the dub sounds like.
I just realized that
Oh
we
my
can
God.
watch this.
Yeah, we can. Isn't that insane?
It's amazing.
Are you? Did we hype it up too much?
Maybe by a tiny fraction, but honestly, no. No, I would never see this again. I did guess correctly that it was the tape. I didn't think it was.
So this is sitting there, and I'm like, all right, like, I was like, I said, how much is this? He said, man, they're grading those now.
Shut up.
I know. I'm like, then get it graded, dude. Like,
Yeah.
why would I want to do that? Like, I'm buying this because it is the funniest thing I think I've ever laid my eyes on. But yeah, he's like, well, they're grading these now, and I don't know. I don't know if I could let it go for less than $5. And I'm like, take my $5. I do not care.
$5 is
worth it.
fine.
I'm like, just take my $5. I was like, I'm not going to grade this. I'm not going to resell it. It's going to sit on our podcast table as an entirely enormous joke.
Yeah. It's really worth $1.
I don't.
Basically. All VHS tapes are worth $1.
It was worth
Basically.
$5 to us.
It was. It was.
Oh my gosh.
I also love that
That's
the
literally
cover art looks bootlegged, even though it's not. This is a real Disney tape. Yeah. But the cover art looks off. Like, why
It
would
looks
Here,
so
I
weird on the
understand
back.
Goofy La Película, but why would the cover art be different? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they know who Goofy is. It's the same.
I don't know, man. The artwork doesn't even match the animation style from the actual movie.
No.
Like, they don't look the same on the back. In fact, Goofy looks crazy.
Well,
I mean, I know he is, but he looks
He
extra
looks goofy.
crazy. Does he have a bullet hole in the bottom of his shoe?
yes. No.
What is that?
I think it's a hole in his shoe because I don't know why. Because he's goofy.
It's perfectly round. Who has a perfectly round hole in the
Or
bottom of
maybe
their
it's
shoe?
supposed to be like where your shoe gets rubbed like down.
I have no idea.
But yeah, it looks like a bootleg, but it's not. It's a real Disney tape.
Isn't this insane? Every time I've been looking at it, I'm like, I can't believe I own this.
Yeah, some more. You have to play
Can you
this.
put that on the mic?
Goofy is still funny in Spanish.
Wait.
Vamos, Maxi.
All right, so now our quest to complete the set is to find an extremely goofy La Película.
Goofy la película del extremo.
Del extremo.
Extremente.
I'm sure we could find it somewhere. Gummit, dude, that's so funny. I was like, not only is there a Goofy movie laying here, but it's in Spanish. Why does this guy have a Spanish
Where did he get it?
Goofy movie?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And he like wanted to he wanted to give me a hard time about it, and I'm like, it's in Spanish, and he's like, oh,
He probably didn't even look at it. He's like, bro, it's in Spanish. I don't even speak Spanish, and I'm buying this from you.
I'm not gonna watch this and try to understand it. Like, I'm buying this purely for the fact that it is hilarious.
the novelty.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, when else am I gonna see a Spanish Goofy movie? And just the fact that it was called Goofy La Película.
I also wonder if it was at a video store because it has this silver sticker on the
I have no idea,
outside and on
man.
the tape.
He may have just bought like a bunch of stuff because there were tons of VHS tapes, dude. Yeah. Does it say anything on it? It's probably in Spanish.
Maybe he did
too.
once, but it seems maybe
It's probably in Spanish too.
it seems more like it had a symbol on it and it fell off. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good, my disciples.
My disciples.
See, now I got I've got people out there looking for insane stuff now, and that makes me happy.
Well, I guess we were looking for insane stuff anyway.
I know, but
It wasn't
all-
because of you, but
I know.
we thought,
but
okay, but if we showed this to Braxton, he would lose his mind.
yeah,
we
I would be
basically-
like, why didn't you buy it? So
we
that's why
bought
we
it to
bought
keep it at the front in every
Yep.
episode.
Yeah,
It's now
basically.
the
It's
new
perfect.
So
display piece.
yeah, it's now part of the podcast set.
It looks so. Imagine clicking on that. Oh wait, they got Goofy La Película on the thumbnail. Hell yeah!
And if you'd like to watch it with us, join our Patreon. Oh my gosh, freaking Goofy La Película.
Vamos, Maxi.
We might actually have to do that. We may have to start a
Dubs
Patreon just for
needs
that.
This, and then they need to play it in Spanish, and they need to do what my parents did when they were dating, and just like turn the volume down a little bit on like the telenovelas, and they need to pick a character
And just do it.
and say their lines and see where they end up at the end of the
Oh
movie.
my god.
I mean, that's what they do for their dubs most of the time anyway.
Yes. They.
So they actually, their dubs now, you said that they put out like a track,
For
on-
movies, yeah.
on
They mostly
YouTube.
put out like a full.
like audio track. Do you actually watch it along and it's just like commentary, or you like play it and hit mute and then listen to it at the same time?
I don't understand. You're talking about me personally, or how you're like? What do you mean?
Like, is that how you're supposed to do
Well,
it?
you're supposed to like pull up the movie on like Amazon Prime, and you pull up their YouTube video on your phone, and then you press play at the same time. I mean, that's the way most people probably do it. I
Then
would
you
say.
mute the one on the TV.
Well, they don't dub it.
Oh, it's not a dub.
It's a commentary basically.
Oh,
So you turn down the movie somewhat a little quieter than them,
yeah.
but you can still hear it. But they'll comment on stuff. But part of it is dubbing, like when they did like Harry Potter
Yeah.
and the Sorcerer's Stone, and a lot of it is them joking, but a lot of it, of course, is them like saying something in Ron's voice as Ron is speaking
Yeah.
to make him say something dumb. You know what I mean? It's kind of a hybrid. Yes.
Why you have to be such a know-it-all?
Not me, not Hermione, you.
I feel like I've heard that before. Is that them?
That's in the movie, but Ron says that like exaggerated when he's talking about how he has to sacrifice himself in the chess game, which makes no sense. And he
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
"You have
Not
to go
me.
on, Harry. Not me. Not,
Not
Hermione.
Hermione.
You."
Yeah.
His accent is like ×3 when he's yelling.
Not me. Not Hermione. You. You have to be the one. The chosen.
Do you really have the scar? The staircases, they like to change.
Gosh, we still need to watch the rest of those with Christian.
Harry Potter. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because you seen the first one or first two?
Yeah, I've seen the first one in pieces. I've seen the first one and the last one. So the
Why
middle
the
is
frick did you watch the last one?
because I got invited to see it in high school.
I the same thing
Wait,
happened
you
to
got
me.
invited to see it in high school and you'd never seen any of the other ones?
The same thing happened to me. I went and saw
What?
the last one in high school because someone
I
invited me to go.
thought they were standalone.
God.
There
No,
was,
you didn't.
There was some dude.
It
without
was
a
literally
nose
called Deathly Hallows Part 2.
and it didn't make sense.
Of course it didn't. You missed 7 movies.
I just remember there was some little dude and a big dude and some fighting.
Harry
That's a
and
great description.
Hagrid and
Dobby.
Dobby's not in Part 2. He dies
Well,
in
his
Part
body
1.
is. They
Oh,
bury his body
at the very beginning, but you don't actually see him.
I know, but that's the only little guy I could think of.
Dobby. Dobby is a free
When you
elf.
said that to me, dude.
Harry Potter has given Dobby.
I hate that image.
Oh my god.
Music makes you lose control.
Yeah, we do need to watch the rest of Harry Potter though. It's so good, man. Like, it's so good. And I could see how people get burnt out on it, honestly. Like if
Yeah.
you watch it too much, or if you're like, I'm gonna watch a Harry Potter movie weekend.
Right. I think it is good to watch them like 2 at a time. You know, and then wait a little bit, watch 2 at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. I watch Harry Potter movie weekends because I've seen all of them, so I just watch whatever's
Yeah.
on most of the time. But
I've seen them all the way through
they're so good.
once. What?
That's not even enough times to like go back and
Make memes about it?
well, not make memes about it, but like understand what's going on in
Well,
the first several movies.
No, I did because I have someone like watching it with me. So every
Still
time I had a
though.
question, they explained it
Still though.
in great detail.
Still though. You pick up on different things like every time you watch it.
Oh, of
You're like,
course.
oh frick, I had no idea. Like even like the 8th time you watch it, you're like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, some of it didn't make sense. Like some of it I had to ask, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is why." And I was like, "Okay, well, good thing you explained that because otherwise, like, it's the like, it's not
Yeah.
because I missed something. It's because the movies literally don't explain it, and you have to
Oh, yeah.
know, you know."
They put the pieces together in the end though and kind of make everything sort of make sense.
Well, and you can explain this to me
Dude.
later, but the main part that I had a problem with is when, well, I guess spoilers for Christian, but when Sirius Black falls into that mirror thing in the movie, like I didn't understand, like it didn't make sense.
He falls into the mirror thing.
Mm-hmm.
What movie is that?
I don't know, 5th or 6th one maybe. And even when they explained it, I kind of got it better. But in the movie, it appeared
I
like
have
they
no
won
idea.
the fight, and then he tripped and fell in it, and died. And I was like, "Wait a minute! What? His death is pointless here." And they were like, "Well, in the book, it happens like this." And I was like, "Well, why did he just like? Why did they win?" And then he
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, bye."
Yeah, I've watched Sorcerer's Stone a lot. I've seen Chamber of Secrets a
Well,
bunch.
Those are the first
Prisoner
3 are
of
the best.
Azkaban is great.
Prisoner of Azkaban is the best.
Goblet
one.
of Fire is where it starts getting dark.
Yeah.
And it is like
My boy!
the whole movie is dark. But it's still good. And then Order of the Phoenix, I literally don't think I've seen.
That's kind of objectively the worst one.
I've seen it maybe once or twice. Like it's just not.
I liked Half-Blood Prince.
It's not great. Half-Blood Prince is pretty good, and then the Deathly Hallows, dude. Those 2 movies are my favorite, especially
They're
the
pretty
last
good.
one. Harry Potter, you have allowed your friends to die. Slippery snakes. Meet me in the Forbidden Forest.
Meet me at the mall.
Your fate.
It's going down. Meet me in the club. It's going down.
Yeah.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
You have led your friends to die.
Oh my goodness.
Should we
Yeah.
end it with
I do.
Voldemort Mike Jones?
I do love those movies though. They're really good. Anyway, that's all we got from Canton, I think. Christian got a
We'll do
couple
it
more
again.
things. I didn't really get a whole lot. I never I don't know. I found a couple things that I was like pretty interested in.
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of cool things there, but not a lot of cool
Yeah,
things
and
that
there
you
were a lot
have
of-
to have.
Like the Z sign, I almost paid for because I was like, that would be pretty hilarious, honestly, because it lights up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that'd be pretty sweet. But I don't
It's
know.
literally the signed version of when SpongeBob was trying to write that essay.
Yeah, literally. Except it's and the funny thing was, I'm sure it'll still be there when we go back, honestly. We asked the guy that at the music store because we had just seen one in one of the other places, and I was like, "Do you know what this is from?" And he said, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "I think it might be from a Radio Shack sign." And I'm like, "What are the odds that this other place, literally 100 yards away, also has a "the" from a Radio Shack sign?"
Yeah.
I was like, I doubt that's what that's from. But at least he had an answer of sorts
right.
for it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like we've looked it up on the internet, cannot find a dang
Mhm.
thing. Who knows? I'm sure it'll still be there. I doubt anybody just wants a sign that says "the." So yeah, we may have to go back and get that at some point because it would be a statement piece for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We should have a sign back there that says "the."
And then we'll make it say the Goofy La Película.
Exactly.
The Goofy the movie.
The Goofy the movie. God, I can't believe we found that. I also got a number one Whataburger because we're number one in your hearts. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe on the podcast. Follow us on Spotify. We are at Question at Hand on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find all of those links as well as links to our Discord and Reddit pages at thequestionathand.com. I think that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed. Got to see some cool stuff from Canton. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Where you headed to, cowboy? Nowhere special. Nowhere special, huh? Always wanted to go there.